Okay, we're in the Ram. I have the back window open, and this is what it sounds like cruising. And if I get on it, so let's see if I can do a better pull, and maybe I can find somebody to hold the camera from the outside of the truck. But for this next one, I'll just hold the camera here. Better impression. I did kind of want to look at EGTs while I accelerated, so we're going to try that now. I know my iPhone pickup is probably not the best for exhaust. In fact, this is an iPhone 10. It's a pretty old phone. But let's see what we can do at the next light. Sideways there. Okay, I'm giving it about half throttle. Okay, and this guy in the Corolla can't make up his mind what lane he wants to go in, so we kind of had to back off there. Let's see if we can drop a U-turn right here real quick. Little cross the double yellow line action, never hurt anybody. And let's do one more. I'm gonna do 3/4 throttle. And we were pretty sideways again. It's a little bit wet today. So I want to do one full throttle. So I guess we'll do one more. Okay, I'm gonna let this guy get some distance ahead of me. You know, I'm just gonna spin if I go full throttle, but let's ease into it and let's give it a little stab here. There we go. That was sort of a weird shift. That sometimes happens. Third kind of flares a little bit, or I'm not sure. It felt like, just kind of felt like it was not doing anything for a minute there. So I'll just take it around the block, let it cool off. Give you some more, oh my God, exhaust impressions. There was a pedestrian there who I thought was walking back out to the crosswalk. Just try to show you what this truck is like, sort of day-to-day regular driving. Unfortunately, this is San Jose, and I think if I set up my phone, leave it somewhere, and do a flyby, I don't really trust San Jose to see my phone and not take it. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to get an exterior exhaust clip. When I watch videos like this, that's always what I want, and I think to myself, why don't they just do it? But I'm kind of realizing now, sometimes there are limitations to what you can do. If my friend wasn't working, he might be able to hold the camera, but he works Saturdays. So let's see what we can do. Okay, today's the day. Put the Banks exhaust in the Ram 2500. Had this truck for about 3 years. It's been all stock, although it did come with an edge tuner, which has been great. Finally pulled the trigger on the Banks Monster Ram, as well as the Ram Air inlet. And today we are going to put on this exhaust. This truck actually has a 4-inch exhaust on it. It says Gibson. I haven't done much research into that, but it looks like it's a 4-inch, maybe 5 actually. Thing looks pretty big. But I wanted the Banks with that improved downpipe. So let's see what we got. Downpipe. Okay, we got the installation instructions with these nice raised Banks stickers. I was really pleased how those look on the truck. Anyway, other than that, this is the improved design. This is the turbine outlet, which I believe has the largest diameter for Banks, although we'll see when we compare them. Here's the rest of the components. Here's this big muffler with a nice Banks emblem on it. I have to say, I do like the Banks branding. I like their logo. I like their typography. I like it. So all these components are probably not in order, but I think in the next shot we're going to see them all mocked up and assembled. One thing to add is that I was hoping the kit would come with this style of clamps. I'm not really a fan of these. These are sort of AutoZone parking lot parts to me. So we may sort of get it together, take some measurements, and order these, I'm not sure what you call these types of clamps, so that we can get this kit on without leaks, but can also be removed in the future. And it's just, I don't know, to me, I don't like these clamps. So let's go. Okay, we got the Ram in the air. Wish we could have gotten it a little higher. Oh well, you can see here, here's this, I believe, 4-inch exhaust coming over the axle, coming up to the downpipe. So we're gonna get all this off and check back in. Okay, we got the exhaust out. Here's the new kit assembled next to it. Here are the downpipes. You can see this is the stock pipe here. I don't know if that's 3 or 2.5. Maybe that's 3. It's hard to tell because this is so big. That's 4. Suppose that's 3 or 2 3/4. Anyway, it's the big difference there. As you can see, this flange actually matches this rest of the size of the rest of the downpipe, whereas this flange from this turbine housing is choked down before it gets to that larger diameter. So obviously this is going to flow more, and since I'm running much higher than stock boost, I think this truck tops out around 35, but 28 in everyday driving, you're definitely going to notice a difference there. Okay, the exhaust is installed here. You can see this rear pipe sticks out too far. If I put the polished tip on it, which clamps here, it'll stick out to about there. So I'm gonna have to contact Banks about that, or simply cut this back. My exhaust kit also only came with one new clamp. I had to reuse 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one I had to cut the hangers off of it. It only came with one, was supposed to come with 4. I believe this clamp with the integrated hangers was meant to seal this joint, but it could not move forward. If it was moved into this position, these would have really have to been bent to connect to those hangers. So I just reused this one. You can see there's a tiny bit of a gap there. Oh well. Other than that, this front hanger doesn't fit very deeply into this, rather the rod doesn't fit very deeply into the hanger. But my old exhaust didn't even have that, so oh well. And the downpipe fits well, fits perfect. The only other fitment issue, you get the nice Monster Ram muffler, is this joint here. You can see the pipe that goes over the axle to the tip is angled. It has a different angle. It has a different attitude. It's going down, whereas the pipe in the front is going like this, and that rear pipe is kind of going like that. And where they meet, it's hard to tell, but that joint isn't really happy. We'll see if it's noisy, if it leaks. I think it's going to be okay. The truck is so loud anyway. So let's get it down on the ground, start it up. Here is that nice exhaust tip, which is simply too long. If we install that on, you can see that's no good. That's crazy. I can push it all the way on to where it would look normal, but then that's not right. So we need to get that figured out. Okay, we're on the highway, doing about 50. I got the concrete wall here, which usually gives you a good reflection of the sound, so let's get on it. Honestly, pretty quiet. I hear a lot more, I don't know if that's turbo noise. In a diesel, I'm not, in a gas or a turbo, it sort of sounds different, but I'm definitely getting sort of a higher frequency, kind of fan-like, air rushing kind of noise. Might just be an exhaust leak. But I think that's actually turbo. So that's cool, you can hear the turbo a little more. Doesn't have that sort of power stroke whistle to it. Okay, we're in lockup. It's quieter, but honestly, for this truck, quieter is better. This truck was incredibly loud. You know, moving around in parking garages was painful. Painful to imagine other people having to be near it. All right, let's put the tuner here in 5. Extreme. Yeah, right. Looks like we're just in time to hit some traffic. Get it into lockup. Okay, we're in lockup, and then let's do a pull. it's just because it's quieter. It really used to kind of bark when you were in lockup. When you got to lockup, you could tell, because the transmission, the exhaust note really changed. I'm not really hearing that anymore. It's more of that turbo noise and sort of turbo through the exhaust noise, which is, I guess it's not that hard to explain, but I didn't hear that as much before on this truck. I wonder if that's because the wastegate on the old downpipe was sort of hitting a wall, the outlet, whereas with the new downpipe, with the new turbine outlet, it's sort of more smoothly integrated. And so, because that's probably what we're hearing at full throttle. It's not actually, I mean, obviously it's not boost through the motor. I don't think you can hear that. What you're hearing is that excess pressure moving through the exhaust, you know, right from the exhaust housing. It's just opening up and allowing some of that exhaust gas, heat energy to pass right through it. Yeah, quieter, definitely quieter. All right, okay, we got a bridge here, so let's give it a, you really need a tunnel to get the full effect. EGTs don't seem that changed, but it's kind of hard to tell on a wide open throttle pull. I think where you might notice a difference in EGTs is sort of a sustained load. You're pulling up grade, and maybe, you know, when you have that smaller turbine outlet, you know, you're hitting 700-800 consistent. Maybe with this, you're 600-700. I don't know. I don't really have any comparison to make there, but I don't know if I really need to do any fancy testing just to know that a bigger outlet is probably going to handle that job better than the smaller one. Okay, it's a bit later, and I just took the Ram back out. Took a couple more fly-by clips that I think will give a better idea of the Banks exhaust from the outside. And now we're going to get onto the highway and try to get some more impressions. Pull to about 80. You can see it's much quieter, but I do notice that the boost response at a lower RPM is better. It builds boost a little quicker, and it just feels like a little less pedal effort to get going. So it's sort of a subtle difference. You know, you kind of have to take a break from driving the truck for a couple of hours and get back in it, and you sort of recalibrate to what you're expecting, and then you do notice these little differences. Like right there, that response, you know, sort of just hard throttle, kind of passing, it just builds boost right away, which is nice. So let's keep driving here and just do a couple more overtakes. It's nice. It's a clean sound. It's definitely, it was pretty rowdy before, which, again, some people like that. Uh-oh, our lane is ending. And that guy ahead of the BMW doesn't have his lights on, or his tail lights. He was totally invisible. Is that a fucking Toyota? I'm embarrassed. I was almost going to overtake him, and I didn't see that guy ahead of him because he didn't have his lights on. Would have been right on him. Alright, let's pull again. Definitely a milder sound. I'm happy with the performance overall. Still sort of getting used to it. Anyway, that's all for now.